just to give you an idea of how big this formation actually is, it was estimated that you would have to create each one of those circles, because there are over 400 of them. Each one of those you'd have to create in about 30 seconds. So just to give you an idea of how hard that would be, if you look at the central circle right in the middle, that is a picture that I took within the central circle only. The camera's at about 12 foot up, raised on a tripod, looking down. And you can see that's just the central circle. And then on the left you've got one of the arms going out, and on the right is a second arm going out. But also from that you can see that the field is not flat. It undulates. In the middle it dips, and on the right-hand side the field actually drops over the edge. So these are not flat canvases by any means. In fact, it's only when you go in them you realise that they can be on sloping fields. The ground can be very wet, and you get sort of clay and chalk sticking to the bottom of your boots. It is not a flat canvas. Now, after we'd been into this particular formation, we then dropped to the right, down below, there, to the place called the East Field. And there was a formation in there which we were going into. And just as we got there, it was just getting dark. And so as we went in, while we were in there, my wife felt psychically that there was a presence in the formation with us. So I took a photograph. This is with an ordinary camera with ordinary film, not digital. And it actually came out with this orb of light. Now, she'd psychically seen this presence as an orb, showing as an orb. So it's incredible that it actually took that quite dense orb you see towards the top there. Once again, I felt that this was a spirit, and this was not part of this technology which has been seen and photographed, yet flying around the fields, often dropping into the formations, as though it's part of an observational technology or as well as a creative technology. But as I say, these things I think are slightly different. Now, talking of orbs, this is a picture that I actually took in Rendlesham Forest. You see the orb in the middle there. I took this picture last year in March of 2008. Now, you're familiar with Rendlesham. This is probably the site of the most important UFO case in Britain, really, where in December 1980, over a few-day period, next to the joint US military bases of Bentwaters and Woodbridge, a lot of military personnel had these interactions with UFOs, triangular craft, balls of light, and also ET beings as well. And you no doubt know Colonel Charles Hull, the military policeman Larry Warren, and of course Staff Sergeant Jim Penniston, these people who are involved in this case. So many people go there now to look at the various sites that are related to this particular incident. And in fact, there's so many now that they've actually set up this UFO trail there in the forest, which is quite nice, of the Forestry Commission, bless them. But what is interesting is that I took many pictures within that area, and the only one that actually came out with an orb was this one here, right at the alleged landing site where this triangular craft actually landed, and those posts mark the supposed landing site. What is even more interesting is if you notice on the left, it came up with this incredibly beautiful cross of light, and I do believe it's a single motion of light starting off on the right, going off screen and then probably coming down and finishing down at the bottom there, with these slight pulsations of light as it goes. Now, this picture was taken at a 60th of a second, so again that was pretty fast motion, but a beautiful image as well. And there's been a lot of paranormal activity that's gone on in Rendlesham since then as well over the years. So something really strange and unusual is happening at Rendlesham.